scoring 300 or more runs in a single innings is a rare and monumental achievement that has only been accomplished by a select group of players. As of now, this remarkable feat has been achieved on 30 occasions by 28 different batters from various cricketing nations. Notably, no player from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Ireland or Zimbabwe has reached this milestone. Number 30. In 2016, Pakistan's batsman Azhar Ali scored an unbeaten 302 runs against the West Indies in Dubai, making history in the first ever day-night test held in the UAE. Number 29. In 2016, Indian batsman Karun Nair scored an unbeaten 303 runs against England in Chennai, becoming only the second Indian to achieve a triple century in Test cricket. Number 28. In July 1934, Australian batsman Donald Bradman scored an impressive 304 runs against England at Leeds, showcasing his legendary batting prowess in the Ashes. Number 27. Series. In October 2024, England's Harry Brook scored an unbeaten 305 runs against Pakistan in Multan, marking a remarkable milestone in his Test career. In February 1966, Australia's Robert Cooper scored a remarkable 307 runs against England in Melbourne. Number 26. In February 1966, Australia's Robert Cooper scored a remarkable 307 runs against England in Melbourne, showcasing his skill and endurance in Test cricket. Number 25. Showcasing his skill and endurance in Test cricket, in March 2004, India's Virender Sehwag scored an outstanding 309 runs against Pakistan in Multan, becoming the first Indian to reach a triple century in Test cricket. Number 25. Number 24. In July 1965, England's John Edrick scored an unbeaten 310 runs against New Zealand at Leeds, marking a memorable triple century in his Test career. Number 23. In July 1964, Australia's Bob Simpson scored an impressive 311 runs against England at Manchester, achieving a memorable number 22. Triple century in Test cricket. In July 2012, South Africa's Hashim Amla scored an unbeaten 311 runs against England at the Oval, marking the first ever triple century by a South African in Test cricket. Number 21. In February 2009, Pakistan's Yunus Khan scored an impressive 313 runs against Sri Lanka in Karachi, becoming the first Pakistani batsman to achieve a triple century in Test cricket. Number 20. In April 2005, West Indies' Chris Gayle scored a remarkable 317 runs against South Africa in St. John's, achieving one of the highest individual scores in Test cricket history. Number 19. In February 2014, Sri Lanka's Kumar Sangakkara scored an impressive 319 runs against Bangladesh in Chattogram, marking one of the highest individual scores in Test cricket. Number 18. In March 2008, India's Virender Sehwag scored an outstanding 319 runs against South Africa in Chennai, showcasing his explosive batting talent in Test cricket. Number 17. In April 1930, England's Andy Sandham scored an impressive 325 runs against the West Indies in Kingston, setting a record for the highest individual score in Test. Number 16. Cricket at that time. In May 2002, Pakistan's Inzamam ul Haq scored a remarkable 329 runs against New Zealand in Lahore, establishing himself as one of the leading batsmen in Test cricket. Number 15. In January 2012, Australia's Michael Clarke scored an unbeaten 329 runs against India at Sydney, delivering one of the finest innings in Test cricket history. Number 14. In November 2010, West Indies' Chris Gayle scored an impressive 333 runs against Sri Lanka in Galle, marking one of the highest individual scores in Test cricket history. Number 13. In July 1990, England's Graham Gooch scored an outstanding 333 runs against India at Lord's, setting a record for the highest individual score at the iconic venue. Number 12. In July 1930, Australia's Donald Bradman scored a remarkable 334 runs against England at Leeds, solidifying his reputation as one of the greatest batsmen in the history of cricket. Number 11. In October 1998, Australia's Mark Taylor scored an unbeaten 334 runs against Pakistan in Peshawar, delivering a remarkable performance that showcased his batting prowess in Test cricket. Number 10. In November 2019, Australia's David Warner scored an unbeaten 335 runs against Pakistan at Adelaide, marking the highest individual score by an Australian in Test cricket. Number 9. In March 1933, England's Wally Hammond scored an unbeaten 336 runs against New Zealand in Auckland, setting a record for the highest individual score in Test cricket at that time. Number 8. In January 1958, Pakistan's Hanif Muhammad scored an impressive 337 runs against the West Indies in Bridgetown, becoming the first cricketer to achieve a score of 300 or more in Test cricket. Number 7. In August 1997, Sri Lanka's Sanat Jayasuriya scored a remarkable 340 runs against India at Colombo's Premadasa Stadium, setting a record for the highest individual score in Test cricket at that time. Number 6. In August 1938, England's Len Hutton scored a remarkable 364 runs against Australia at the Oval, establishing a record for the highest individual score in Test cricket that stood for nearly 20 years. Number 5. In February 1958, West Indies' Gary Sobers scored an unbeaten 365 runs against Pakistan in Kingston, setting a record for the highest individual score in Test cricket at that time. Number 4. In July 2006, Sri Lanka's Mahila Jayawardene scored an impressive 374 runs against South Africa at Colombo Sinhalese Sports Club, marking one of the highest individual scores in Test cricket history. Number 3. In April 1994, West Indies' Brian Lara scored a remarkable 375 runs against England in St John's, setting a record for the highest individual score in Test cricket at that time. Number 2. In October 2003, Australia's Matthew Hayden scored an impressive 380 runs against Zimbabwe in Perth, setting a record for the highest individual score in Test cricket. Number 1. In April 2004, West Indies' Brian Lara scored an unbeaten 400 runs against England in St John's, achieving the record for the highest individual score in Test cricket history. Watching Sports Lanka YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories of remarkable sports journeys.